Just wanted to share a album that I just finished. It's the first one that I've ever made, so it took me a while. It's a tribute album to my father, who passed away in January, and I made it for my mother. And I'll put in the description below what the paper is, because I don't have that handy. But I put a toggle clasp on it. Originally, I bought the design from Kathy at Paper Phenomenon, and I didn't use the paper that she had used because I didn't have it. But I liked this pattern, so I put these two papers together. I'm probably going to put some ribbon across the back here. I haven't done that yet, but the rest of it's finished. So this is a tulle flower, and I just cut out, it's a lollipop flower, cut out circles and then heated it with my heat gun. And this is a ring that I got at a market, and I just cut the back off, and then I put some feathers and some beads. And this is beaded trim I got at the fabric store, and this was white, and I dyed it with textile medium and some acrylic paints to try to get this rusty rose color. And she originally showed a magnet in it, and I did start out with a magnet, but it wasn't keeping it closed once I got everything in it, so I ended up putting Velcro, which doesn't look very pretty, but that's what I did. And I made the chunky charms to hang on it. And I put my brothers and my sister and I put our names on this because I'm giving this to my mother. And I'm going to change the view so that I can show you how it opens. So this pulls out. It was an envelope, a sliding envelope in the back, but it didn't have enough room for everything I wanted to put in it, so I changed it and just put a flip album in there, so or flip pages. So this is a photo of my mother. The back of the book is sort of dedicated to the family, his family. I wanted to showcase, you know, who his family was. So this is my mother. I got this at one of the flea markets, and then I punched out these little butterflies with the Sizzix die, and then added some rhinestones, and then put glitter on them. And I made this stick pin with the little heart, and I made this little organza flower with the rhinestone in the center, and then there's a pocket on the front, and this is just my mother's maiden name, and just something about her on the card, and that goes in there. And then when you flip it up, this shows, sorry, having trouble with the tripod, trying to be able to see what I'm doing at the same time. This is a photo of my mom and dad with my sister and I put an envelope, half of an envelope across here, and this is a little Sizzix die that was a profile of a little girl, and I crackled it, and I made a beaded spray, and then I made these little flowers here I made, and the rest of them I had bought. This is a piece of ribbon to help hold the tag in, and then I threaded ribbon through the lace. And the tag is decoupaged with the top layer of a napkin. I had that in my stash, and this was another ring that I cut the back off of, and then just my sister and my name, and then it has a poem about fathers and their daughters. And then this one was just a photo of my dad with his first son, back, that is a photo of my dad with his second son. And then when you go to this one, this just shows a picture of all of us. And then when you get to this one at the bottom, that shows all of us with mom and dad, but there's a few spouses and children thrown in. And I hand painted the little houses, you know, the rooftops at the bottom, and then put some ribbon below that. And this was taken, you know, when we were all attending the funeral. This says grandchildren in bloom, and this is all of his grandchildren with my mother. And then the last page, this one, which I've done a rub on here, which says great grandchildren, and they are flourishing. This is his great grandchildren. And then you go to this portion, and the first page is just my dad in the 7th or 8th grade, and I cut this out with a Sizzix die, printed this on a piece of paper, and then took the pages that I had die cut, taped it over the one that I had printed, and ran it back through again so that I could get this in it, and it has you know, various pages in it. And then when you pull the tag out, just another photo of my dad when my mom met him. And then on the back of that, it just shows my dad with all of his brothers and his father and grandfather. And then this one is his baseball uniform. This I cut out with this, and the fence I cut out with my Cricut, and I crackled the fence and the ball. And this one is, let's flip all these back up. This one is a photo of my dad at work. He was an optical engineer, and he did development and testing of night vision equipment for the Army. And this was just a middle sticky back little label that I had, and this I cut out of with my Cricut, and it's got I don't know if you can tell, acetate behind the windows of the plane. And then inside this pocket is another photo of him at work with one of his bosses. This is a photo of him on his bike. He loved trail riding, and I cut this out with my Cricut, and all of these tiny little pieces I had to place on there. And then I used some can't even think what you call it, the clear glass medium, I forget what you call it, and that goes back in there. And then this pocket, let's flip it up again. It's easier to show you if it's laying down, but that's difficult. This one was a photo of my dad and I right at my baby shower before my son was born, and I put a little pocket on here and punched the edge. And so I made a tag to go in the pocket, and it's got a clock that I have a die. I think it's a Tim Holtz die that I cut and then just trimmed the edge of it. And then this was a free SVG cut that I found on the internet, and I cut that out, and pieced it together. And then I put the journaling on one of Tim Holt's little acrylic tags. And then on the back, I made this for Halloween because my son was born on Halloween. And then this one, was my son. It was just after his first birthday, and my dad gave him his first haircut. And I found these free SVG cuts on the internet and put that on there. And then this one, he was a Texan. He was born in Texas, and he was a big Dallas Cowboys fan. And this was a Christmas where he got some new hats, and he loved them. So I put Texas on the bottom, and sorry about that. He went to Texas Tech, so that's the logo for Texas Tech, and I just journaled on the back. And then we'll turn it this way. And this one, my mother wanted this photo included because she really liked it. It was taken near Thanksgiving one year, and I don't want to turn it sideways again, but this is a pine cone that I got from Valita's Fresh Folds. It was a design that she shared, and this was a Sizzix die, and this was I cut with my Cricut. And inside is just more photos of my dad. He started building houses right before he retired, and that's his business card. And then I stamped and colored this with inks. He was a huge dog lover, so I wanted to include the photo of him with his babies. And this photo was, he was an exceptional builder. He made some beautiful furniture and built everything that they ever had at any house. And this particular house that they lived in when he passed away, he had built. And I put together, I looked at a photo of a carpenter's apron, and I just cut little pieces out and glued them together, and that's the little belt that goes in the back, and these are all little pockets and somewhere to hang your hammer, although this hammer was too big to fit in there, and there's a screwdriver. And then this one was all of the brothers, my dad and his brothers. It was the last time they were ever together. And inside this pocket, it just showed my dad. He loved the water, and I actually used a stencil and stenciled the fish and the shells on there, and then put Yudi over the top to make it look like water. And I did the same with this one. It was a stencil, and put the Yudi on there, and it was just showing him with his boat and his jet ski. And inside this pocket, just more photos. I didn't put much on these because the book was starting to get too fat. And this one was my dad. He loved this sweatshirt. It says, "I'm retired." I can't remember what the rest of it says. I can't read it, but I remember he always used to wear that. And this was him. He looked completely worn out. He was helping my brother renovate his office, and he was just really wiped out. And then this was a photo of my mom and dad at my brother and his wife reaffirmed their vows, and this was taken at that ceremony. And this one was my dad had just finished with his last chemo session. He had gone into remission from multiple myeloma, and that this was the last chemo from that particular bout of cancer. And he was able to attend my sister's youngest child, her daughter's wedding, and it ended up coming back, and that's what eventually got him in the end. But he did have another couple of years. And well, I showed you that behind this one. This one, my mother wanted this photo in because this was him taken at the last class reunion. He went back to Midland, Texas, and it was the reunion number 50. It was the last one that he was ever able to attend. And then this I included because my father had been chosen, they had clinical trials for a new procedure for replacement of heart valve. And this magazine did an article on him because it was just amazing, this surgery. He went in and had the heart valve replaced and was out in 2 days. It was very non-invasive, and they went up through the groin and replaced the heart valve. And so I just did journaling here, and then this was just more of the story about Dad. And he used to carve all these Kachina dolls. And so they did this little feature article. It was actually an 8.5 by 11 page, but I wanted to include it in here. You can barely read it. But that's basically it. And I put lace down the center of that. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks for, letting me share it with you. Bye-bye.